Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel.
Wakati ambapo tunataka kuwafahamisha wananchi, tunakuwa kwamba sisi sasa ndio walengwa, tumekuwa adui. Mash amekuja katika kituo cha polisi ambapo anajihisi kwamba ni salama. Lakini kufikia wakati ambapo analengwa akiwa katika kituo cha polisi ni jambo la kusikitisha sana na ni jambo ambalo tunalikemea pakubwa sana.
DANSTAN OMAR argued that before you arrest someone, you must have known where he lives, the picture, and literally everything about that person. Then you execute the arrest. So if that was done, then these people could have known that the person they were arresting is not Francis Gaitho. Now kindly like our video. That is the only way YouTube get to share our content, and I'm so grateful for everybody who has been liking our videos, and I don't take that for granted. Subscribe to our channel if you've not subscribed before, and to existing subscribers, thank you so much for your support. Now I want us to delve deep into this abduction theory. Machare Gaitho was abducted or arrested, whichever way you choose to look at it, but the circumstances under which he was arrested are still questionable. So let me take you through this event first. Because now we know that he has been released, but before he's released, what happened? Now, the veteran journalist was on his way, from home. Then it's alleged that he spotted some cars, I think two, a Subaru and a Probox, trailing him. So that is when, according to information from people like DANSTAN OMAR, the journalist saw that the best thing for him to do is to head to Karen police station, and that is what he did. The same car that was trailing him entered the police station and had him arrested or abducted and drove off with him. So that is now where we start this whole thing.
This is not an isolated event. This is not an event that anybody can say that it was a mistaken identity. For the DCI to trail, serious data has been analyzed, profiling has been done, risks have been assessed, timing has been agreed, and how to execute that matter.
I had to do some research on Macharias. Probably, he has also been controversial in a way. So I looked at some of the past 3 weeks, any utterances which he could have made, which maybe wasn't going to sit well with the government. So I realized that 2 weeks ago, Machare Gaitho was hosted at Spice FM for the morning show, and there is something he pointed out there. I don't know whether this could be the reason why there was this kind of agitation to have him arrested.
Then Duale signed a gazette notice deploying the army. Are you deploying an army against a foreign occupation force, a foreign invasion, or against your own children? Are we going back to 1982 when we used to work with our IDs held up in the air and at the mercy of soldiers who do not respect anyone's constitutional rights? I am not a lawyer, but I do not know whether our constitution envisages deploying an army against citizens.
No way.
But this issue, mistaken identity, is the explanation that the DCI has issued. So there is an article on Free Pass that Machare Gaitho wrote, which personally I managed to read this article, and I could see that the content maybe were not sitting well with the government. Maybe, I don't know, but you see that article on your screen there, that is what I went through. Maybe you can just check some of the contents. I read some of the contents and I could tell that maybe that could be the reason why this abduction or arrest took place, because it was merely trying to address issues related to the government and sounding some alarms on the government. So probably that could have been the reason why, but let's just leave that for now. I want us to focus on what the DCI said. The DCI said Macharia Gaitho arrest was a case of mistaken identity. So now we know that the target is Francis Gaitho. It's not Macharia Gaitho. Maybe you might want to listen to what DANSTAN Omari said in regards to that part where Macharia had been released. So there's something that which DANSTAN Omari said. Just watch this video and listen to what DANSTAN Omari said.
This is not an isolated event. This is not an event that anybody can say that it was a mistaken identity. For the DCI to trail serious data has been analyzed, profiling has been done, risks have been assessed, timing has been agreed, and how to execute that matter. My good friend here tells me he was living at home, and as they were driving out of the home, suspicious vehicles started trailing him. So as they were trailing him, they knew who they were trailing. They were not trailing a ghost. He immediately sensed, being a veteran journalist, and instructed the driver to rush to the nearest police station. The speed of the car and the expertise of the driver and the instinct of Macharia saved him. Had he been intercepted before he reached at the police station, the destination could be either quarry, dumping site, could be anywhere where nobody knows. Still, the trailers had the audacity to come to the police station and manhandle Macharia Gaitho. If you can see, these are injuries. This is what the law says, that torture was banned in this country. This is what was said, that the police will only be allowed to use reasonable force if the person being arrested resists. Macharia Gaitho was within the police station, within the police premises. Why on earth will anybody want to do this to us? We shall be seeking that these cannot be police officers. These must be extrajudicial people appointed to execute illegal orders, and we shall move very fast to get the perpetrators of such a crime outside. What would happen to an ordinary Kenyan, unknown, whose face is not known in this country, if it can be done to a senior media personality to this?
Well, so now we know that the target was not Macharia Gaitho. Let's assume that that is the case. Now, Cyprian Nyakundi, in reacting to this issue, went to his X handle and shared something. Cyprian Nyakundi said, "Why is the DCI hunting Francis Gaitho? I know if they had summoned him, he would have presented himself." That is what Cyprian Nyakundi shared in his X handle, saying that if Francis Gaitho had been summoned, then Francis would have, Francis Gaitho would have presented himself. So Francis also reacted to this, the person who is supposed to be arrested. He said, this statement was issued three hours ago. I mean, at the time I was recording this video, it's around 12:37 p.m. So 3 hours ago there, it could have been 9 a.m. So this is what Francis Gaitho said. First, they trailed journalist Macharia in a Subaru KCB 847F, and then he was bundled into a Toyota Probox KBC 725J. When he sought help at the current police station, kindly circulate those vehicle numbers. They are not selling fear, but anger now. I think at the time he was posting this message, he had not known that he was the target. So then, an hour later, Francis Gaitho issued a statement. I mean, this was a reaction to some people had messaged him, you know, through his X handle. So let me also take you through a tweet that was shared. This is what was shared to Francis Gaitho. Someone shared it, and then Francis Gaitho reacted by saying that he's consulting his legal counsel for way forward. So initially, there was a message from the National Police Service. They said, the National Police Service would like to clarify to the public that this morning we arrested journalist Macharia Gaitho in a case of mistaken identity, meant for the arrest of Francis Gaitho, who is our subject of investigation. Okay, now then also there's another message. We reiterate that as a service we do not target journalists in any way, and today's incident is highly regrettable. That is what the message, that is what was shared from regarding this issue of Macharia Gaitho. Mind you, there was a separate incident yesterday where a K24 journalist was shot. So I think the police is concerned because there is also a message from the UN regarding the shooting of a journalist. So that's why I think they reacted that way, because they talked about categorically that they're not targeting journalists at all. So because of these issues, ladies and gentlemen, the reaction from Francis Gaitho, I got curious and I wanted to know what is it that Francis Gaitho could have done. You know, most of these things you can get them on the relevant social media account. So what is it that Francis Gaitho could have said or done or posted somewhere that made him become a subject of investigation? So looking at his tweets, there's a tweet he shared around two days ago. This tweet, I suspect, could have been the reason why he was being pursued. This is it. I think this tweet, he was reacting to the Kware issue. Damu inaitana. Don't ignore the cries of those abducted and extrajudicial murdered by the criminal gangs of NPSK, National Police. Those who killed them know. Their genocidal ways are well documented in the public domain. Then in this tweet, he shared a message from a lady here who was angered by the going-ons. Then he also shared something here, a picture which appears to be Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. This could have been a message, or this picture, this is not a recent one. This could have been a picture that was taken in 2007, 2008 there, after during the post-election violence. Now that the DCI has issued a press statement and saying that it was a case of mistaken identity, so what next? I listened to DANSTAN Omari. You know, DANSTAN Omari has been very bold in how he defends, you know, clans. Someone joked about DANSTAN Omari, the way he does things, that before you even engage him in any case, already huwa ashakuthreaten pale kwa media. Yani wewe mwenyewe wewe ni lawyer lakini ushashtuka, huyu jamaa nitamhandle. You always want to now solve things outside the court before you even engage him. Tayari ashatupa vitisho. No, that is a strategy that DANSTAN Omari uses, but it's also a strategy that works for him. That's why you find that demand yake iko juu sana. Many people seek for his assistance. I remember during Pastor Ezekiel's issues, Pastor Ezekiel had to go for DANSTAN Omari as the person who was defend him, and the case was successful, and he was vindicated from all the claims, from the public. I mean, from the government, I could say that, because he was accused by the government of those wrongdoing. So DANSTAN Omari back then stood firm, and the threats that he used to dish out on the media peke yake kabla uende kotini, you could tell that this court hii case ilikuwa itaanguka. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to rest my case there. But so ladies and gentlemen, just go below on the comment section and you can give your feedback regarding this incident. I'm sure if you heard about the incidents, then you must have felt something ilikugusa, ukaona kwamba this was not right, or maybe if you thought that was right. Either way, you can just go below on the comment section and tell us what you think about that ordeal. Personally, I call it an ordeal. Now, perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.